everyone. Today I'm going to talk about epithelial tissue according to Barron's Human Anatomy and Physiology. Let's begin. Epithelial tissue lines the respiratory, reproductive, and urinary systems, the oral and the nasal cavities, and blood vessels. It is non-vascularized, as it is fed by the connective tissue and, therefore, no longer needs to have blood vessels to feed it. It has a basement membrane that consists of glycoproteins secreted by the epithelial cells and collagen fibers resulting from the connective tissue. Cell junctions hold epithelial cells tightly together. They occur from the adhesion of the membranes of adjacent cells as a result of the coupling of some lipoproteins. There are three types of cell junctions: tight-type cell junctions, desmosomes, or gap-type cell junctions. Tight cell junctions are protein bands that isolate portions of the cell membrane and form a barrier that prevents the passage of substances through the cell. The cellular space in these junctions disappears where the cell membranes are stuck. In other places is very small. Desmosomes are interconnected structures that join adjacent cell membranes, living in space of electron microscopic dimensions. The intracellular fibers in these junctions are made of keratin. The intercellular space in these junctions is about 24 nanometers. Gap or communicating junctions represent channels or pores through cell membranes that cross the intercellular space. They have an intercellular space of about 2 nanometers and facilitate electrical communication within cells, allowing ions and molecules to pass through the tissue. These junctions are found in the smooth muscle and cardiac tissue. The functions of the epithelial tissue are protection, absorption of gases or nutrients, transport of nutrients, secretion, and sensory reception. Epithelial tissue can be simple squamous or stratified, simple cuboidal or stratified, simple columnar stratified or pseudostratified, and the urothelium. Simple squamous epithelial tissue is found in the endothelium, in the mesothelium, in small ducts of the glands, in certain parts of the renal tubules, and in the terminal portion of the respiratory system. The stratified squamous epithelium has cuboidal columnar cells at the base, cuboidal in the middle, and keratinized squamous cells on the surface. The epithelium is found in the openings of the body to the outside, such as the mouth, the anus, urethral openings, ear openings, in the vagina, epidermis, and also in the esophagus. The roles of the squamous epithelium are protection, secretion, and limited absorption. The simple cuboidal epithelium has cells with a centrally arranged nucleus. This epithelium is found in several glands: in the pigment epithelium of the retina, on the surface of the ovary, in front of the lens, and is part of the renal tubules. Its role is protection and secretion. Stratified cuboidal epithelium is located in the ducts of sweat glands, testicular tubes, and ovarian follicles. It has a protective role. The simple columnar epithelium is found in the wall of the gastrointestinal tract, in unicellular glands created from globed cells that secrete mucus. It is also found in the fallopian tubes and in the uterus. It has tall cells with nuclei located in the basal portion, and its roles are absorption, protection, and secretion. The stratified columnar epithelium is made of several layers of tall cells and is rarely found in the body. It has a protective role and is found in the male utera. This epithelium has microvilli in most cases. Columnar pseudostratified epithelium has a protective and secretory role. It is found in the trachea, the upper bronchial tree, in the channels of the reproductive system, and in male urethra. The transitional epithelium, also called the urothelium, has cells that change shape in response to distension. The urothelium has a protective role and lines the ureters and the bladder. When the bladder is relaxed, it has 6 to 7 layers of rounded cells. When the bladder is tense, the cells are in distension, therefore they flatten. Types of glands. Glands can be endocrine or exocrine. Endocrine glands secrete hormones directly into the blood and have no external duct. Exocrine glands secrete enzymes through an external secretory duct. These glands can be unicellular or multicellular. Unicellular exocrine glands are made of a single cell. They secrete mucin, which is a glycoprotein that combined with water creates mucus. The typical example of a unicellular gland is the goblet cell. It is located among the epithelial cells in the digestive tract and secretes mucus. Multicellular glands are made of many cells. They can be simple and compound multicellular glands. Simple pluricellular glands have an unbranched duct. They can be tubular if the secretory portion has the shape of a right angle, coiled tubular if the secretory portion is a coiled tube, branched tubular if the tubular secretory portion has ramifications, and branched or alveolar acinar if the secretory portion is made of more many sacs located along a secretory canal. An example of a coiled tubular gland is the sweat gland. Gastric and uterine glands are branched tubular glands, and the sebaceous gland in the skin is branched alveolar acinar. Compound pluricellular exocrine glands have a branched excretory duct. They can be tubular acinar or tubular acinar. Tubular compound glands have the form of branched tubes and are found in the intestine and in the testicles. The secretory unit of these glands is tubular. Compound acinar glands are shaped like sacs. Examples of such glands are the salivary glands, submandibular and sublingual. Compound tubular acinar glands have the tubular and acinar secretory units. Examples of such glands are the pancreas and the parotid gland. According to the type of secretion, exocrine glands can be mucus, serous, or seromucus. Mucus glands produce mucus resulting from goblet cells and other epithelial cells in the respiratory, digestive, and reproductive tracts. Serous glands produce a watery protein material that contains enzymes. An example of a seromucus gland is the salivary gland. According to their activity, exocrine glands can be merocrine, apocrine, or holocrine. Merocrine glands remain intact during secretion. Examples of merocrine glands are salivary and sweat glands. Apocrine glands are also a type of merocrine glands, but release their secretion through exocytosis. Examples of apocrine glands are ceruminous glands, mammary glands, and some types of sweat glands. Holocrine glands contain cells that disintegrate to release their secretion. This type of secretion is called holocrine secretion. An example of a holocrine gland is the sebaceous gland in the skin. The membranes. These are the epithelia accompanied by underlying connective tissue. Membranes can be mucous or serous. Mucous membranes line the axis ways to the outside of the organs. Examples of ways to the outside of the organs are the urinary or respiratory tracts. The mucous membranes are formed by an epithelium, lamina propria or the chorion, and the connective tissue that supports the epithelium. This connective tissue is rich in blood vessels and represents the musculature of the mucosa containing circular or longitudinal layers of smooth muscle. The role of mucous membranes is to protect and lubricate tissues. Serous membranes line cavities and cover the surfaces of the viscera. Examples of serous membranes are the pleura, pericardium, and the peritoneum. We discussed about these three in the first video. Now I suggest you pause this video and take a screenshot. This slide contains all the material discussed in this video in a schematic version. With that being said, we've come to the end of this video. If you liked it, don't forget to hit the like, share and subscribe button. Don't forget to press the bell too to get more notifications. If you have any questions, please contact me on social networks where you can find me under the same name as on my YouTube channel. Last but not least, I wish you a nice week. Bye.